strange. It was the 19th century German philosopher Karl Marx who posited the quagmires of capitalism deepens inequality. While a wealthy few enjoy the nation's vast resources, millions face poverty, unemployment, inflation, and poor social services. A cross-section of Enugu residents spoke on the country's achievements and flaws since independence.
For 60-something years, I think Nigeria should have been beyond where it is now. Of course, a lot of successes here and there, but every Nigerian will agree with me that we should have gone beyond where we are now. And particularly in the areas of national cohesion. It's very unfortunate that having gone through all that we went through as a nation, we are still struggling with cohesion. People see themselves, not as Nigerians, but first and foremost from their primordial perspectives. Yes, it's good for us to recognize that if you're from the south, well, I'm from the south. If you're an Igbo man, you say I'm an Igbo man. If you're Yoruba, you say you are Igbo. If you're Efik, Hausa, Fulani, yes, it's normal to say so. But I think, those things shouldn't mask the fact that we are Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, when we go beyond the shores of this country, nobody wants to know whether you are Igbo, you are Efik, you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, Fulani, or you are Edo. They call you Nigerians.
Nigerians, a happy Independence Day celebration. So far, we have not done too well. And it's not because of the lack of God's gift to our country. We have had, and we still have, abundant mineral resources, more than many nations of the world, whether it is oil or gas or other minerals, including even gold. But instead of the oil bringing us good, it has brought us evil. It has become the only way to grow the economy. There is obviously no other way that this country is growing her economy. Every other thing that should be added to our GDP are largely unexploited.
Despite these demerits, Nigeria has made remarkable achievements. Over the years, the country has played a pertinent role in African liberation struggles, peacekeeping operations, and the restoration of democratic rule in troubled nations. Its cultural influence in music, film, and literature has also placed the country firmly on the global terrain. Still, the flaws cannot be ignored. Corruption, nepotism, weak institutions, ethnic rivalries, and insecurity continue to hold the country back, confirmed by some residents.
Our level of impactfulness and our level of development and what have you, it's encouraging, I must be honest. And someone would, probably argue with me and say, why should I say so? And if you say, why should I say so, I will tell you why I say so. Why I say so is that Nigeria, we are still at the 60 plus, independence, 60 plus. So when you have a ratio to what has, the far American and other part of the global have been, I will tell you that America, had about 200 and something years in independence, likewise the Great Britain and what have you. So Nigeria at the 60 plus, I think we are not doing so bad.
Youths are largely jobless, which is the reason why there's so much insecurity, because, they are easy hands to hire. When the man is hungry, you promise him anything, he will join you.
The respondents called for leaders who will show true patriotism by reducing the cost of living, equitable distribution of scarce resources, reviving the economy, creating jobs for the teeming youth, and ensuring justice system for all. Happy Independence Day. Chidimmi Kemede, Aneke TV.
Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba.
I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Good afternoon and welcome to the news across the country on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. NEMA confirms 14 dead after boat mishap. Osun State Governor grants amnesty to 36 convicts. Soldiers for terrorist attack in Taraba State. Lagos enlists councils and clerics to boost immunization. Detained soldiers' wives beg President Tinubu for pardon. Police nab 62-year-old extortion kingpin in Anambra State. Police in Enugu State to enforce tinted glass permit. I'm Deborah Wakoba with the details of the news. The National Emergency Management Agency NEMA says 24 passengers have been rescued, 14 bodies recovered, and 42 remain missing after boat mishap on River Niger in Ibaji, Kogi State. The ill-fated vessel carrying about 80 people from Onugwa to Olushi village capsized around 5:40 p.m. Overcrowding and poor safety standards are suspected causes, echoing Nigeria's recurring boat tragedies. NEMA said community divers are working with its rescue team alongside the Kogi State Emergency Agency, Civil Defense, Red Cross, Fire Service, NIWA, and local authorities. Search and recovery efforts are still underway. Moving on. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has pardoned 36 inmates in the state's correctional centers to mark Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. His spokesperson, Olawale Rashid, said that the gesture followed recommendations from the State Advisory Council of Prerogative of Mercy and was carried out under Section 212 of the 1999 Constitution. The beneficiaries, mostly jailed for minor offenses like theft and conspiracy, had already served significant portions of their sentences. In other news, troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army have foiled the terrorist attack in Toikiegba village, Taraba State, killing 2 suspects. Army spokesperson Lieutenant Umar Mohammed said the operation followed credible intelligence on bandits' movements. He said the terrorists were engaged along the power line axis and overpowered with superior firepower. Items recovered from the bandits include a locally made pistol, 2 Dane guns, ammunition, a Bofeng radio, a motorcycle, and other materials. In order to promote vaccine sensitization, the Lagos State government has launched a new push to expand immunization coverage by engaging local government chairmen and religious leaders. The Deputy Governor, Obafemi Hamzat, who chairs the state's task force on immunization and primary health care, urged clerics to use sermons and schools to spread awareness, stressing that no child should be left unvaccinated. Health Commissioner Professor Akino Abayomi warned that weak primary health care leads to sickly communities, noting that modern vaccines now protect against diseases such as hepatitis, cervical cancer, and malaria. This news broadcast is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can follow us on all social media feeds on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now, a quick reminder of major developments in the news. NEMA confirms 14 dead after boat mishap. Osun State Governor grants amnesty to 36 convicts. Soldiers for terrorist attack in Taraba State. Lagos enlists councils and clerics to boost immunization. Coming up shortly, detained soldiers' wives beg President Tinubu for pardon. Police nab 62-year-old extortion kingpin in Anambra State. Police in Enugu State to enforce tinted glass permits. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Welcome back. Over 30 wives of detained soldiers in Maiduguri have appealed to President Bola Tinubu and military authorities to grant their husbands pardon in the spirit of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. Speaking to the NUJ Press Center, spokesperson Rosie Manuel David said their husbands had been held for over a year on minor offenses, forcing families into hardship. The women argue that while amnesty has been extended to repentant Boko Haram members and bandits, soldiers who once risked their lives for Nigeria also deserve mercy. They called on Tinubu, the National Assembly, and Governor Babagana Zulum to intervene and reunite the men with their families. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Police Command has arrested Bernard Odechefu, 62, alleged informant of a secessionist group and mastermind of an extortion network in Ihiala local government area. Police spokesman SP Tochukwu Ikenga said Odechefu collected at least 10,000 naira monthly from traders in Iseke and Osmogu and over 100,000 from families before burials, remitting the proceeds to a terrorist camp. He was arrested by the Rapid Response Squad in Okuzu on Wednesday. Commissioner of Police Ikoyo Otugu assured residents of continued operations to dismantle criminal networks exploiting citizens under the guise of agitation. As of now, the Enugu State Police Command says it will begin strict enforcement of tinted glass permits and clamp down on unauthorized sirens, revolving lights, SPY plates, and unregistered vehicles from today. Police spokesman Mr. Daniel Ndukwe said the exercise, guided by existing laws, applies to all vehicles with tinted windows, factory or otherwise. Motorists must apply for permits via possap.government.ng and undergo physical verification at the command headquarters or remove their tints. Commissioner of Police Mr. Maman Beatrice Giwa directed officers to enforce the order professionally, warning that any misconduct, harassment or extortion will be sanctioned. Now moving over to business news. Nigeria paid $2.86 billion to service its external debt between January and August 2025. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has revealed. This means that 7 out of every $10 the country spent abroad during this period went into debt repayment, leaving little room for imports or investment. Though the figure is slightly lower than the $3.06 billion paid in the same period of 2024, debt servicing still dominates Nigeria's foreign expenses. Monthly payments were unstable with big jumps and sharp drops, for example, in March 2025. Debt service spiked to $632 million, more than double of the previous year, while in May it crashed to $231 million, far below 2024 levels. Credit ratings agency Fitch has warned that Nigeria's external debt bill will rise further to $5.2 billion in 2025, including a major $1.1 billion Eurobond repayment due in November. The agency also flagged weak revenue and high interest costs as key risks, noting that nearly half of the federal government's income goes into interest payments alone. Still on business, closed pension fund administrators are moving more workers' pension money into foreign investments, following new guidelines from the National Pension Commission, PENCOM. Fresh data show that in August 2025, CPFAs grew their investment in foreign money market instruments by 12.4% to 94.1 billion naira, up from 83.7 billion naira in July. Their foreign equity investments also rose by 2.2% to 277.4 billion naira. At the same time, overall pension fund investments in federal government securities climbed to 15.8 trillion naira, with big boost in government bonds and treasury bills. Those Sukuk bond investment dropped sharply. PENCOM's new rule now allows pension fund administrators, PFAs, to also invest pension savings in foreign currency assets, something only CPFAs could do before. The move is expected to give Nigerians abroad and those earning in foreign currency a way to contribute to the contributory pension scheme, while strengthening Nigerians' pension industry with diversified inflows. Now moving over to sports. Golden Eaglets coach Manu Garba has criticized the Confederation of African Football (CAF) for limiting the West African Football Union Zone B, WAFU B, to just 2 qualification slots for the Under-17 AFCON. This follows Nigerian 2-0 loss to Ghana in the WAFU B semi-final in Ivory Coast, which ended their hopes of qualifying for the 2026 Under-17 AFCON and FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Garba, who led Nigeria to Under-17 World Cup titles in 2007 and 2013, described the allocation as unfair, insisting WAFU B is Africa's strongest zone and should have at least 3 slots. With Nigeria out, Ghana and Ivory Coast represent WAFU B at the 2026 tournament. Still on sports, Holy Saviours Football Club of Ali Mosho sealed the 2025 Independence Cup title with a dominant 3-0 victory over Hendricks FC at the Ibaja Ayobo Youth Development Center on Nigeria's 65th Independence Day. Starman Damilola Pedro Akinola bagged 2 goals and an assist, earning both the tournament's top scorer 7 goals and MVP awards. Aberdeen also scored in the first half to put HS Family in control. Holy Saviours FC took home 600,000 naira prize money, while Hendricks received 400,000 naira and the Fair Play Award. Convener Abolaji Tamiyu said the competition, launched in 2020, continues to spotlight grassroots talents, with past participants moving on to professional football. Despite financial challenges, Tamiyu said the tournament remains a platform for youngsters to connect with clubs and agents. Now in entertainment, Nigeria's singer Adekule Gold has released his 6th album, Fuji, a project he says is a tribute to one of Nigeria's oldest and most influential sounds. Speaking in Paris, Gold described Fuji as the soundtrack of Lagos, noting its role in shaping Afrobeats. The 38-year-old, also known as AG Baby, blends traditional Yoruba rhythms with modern R&B, continuing a global push similar to Burna Boy and Davido. The new album reflects his personal journey with songs of grief, love, and family. I talk about losing my father, my love life, my daughter. It's an emotional journey, he said. To end the news across the country, here are the main points. A boat carrying about 80 passengers have capsized on River Niger in Kogi State, leaving 14 dead, 24 rescued, and 42 still missing. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has granted amnesty to 36 convicts in commemoration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. We also told you that the Enugu State Police Command has announced that it will today commence enforcement of tinted glass permits and clamp down on the unauthorized use of sirens, revolving lights, and unregistered vehicles across the state. That ends the news. For breaking news, eyewitness report, please call 070-3043-7110 or visit our social media feeds across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I'm Deborah Wakoba. Thank you for watching. Hello, I'm Bebra Wakoba.
I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chinwendo Ifeanyi.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites, and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders, and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence, and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts, and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians, and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors, and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse, and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meets.
Conflict is normal, but violence is not. Disagreements, handled with respect, lead to growth, not destruction. Learn to listen, not just argue. Peaceful resolution is a sign of maturity.
Yes, Nigeria is, I would say, is now aged to be able to take care of her citizens. But the unfortunate underlying word is that people are not finding it funny. myself, I'm not finding it very funny. So there should be a change for good, and for the betterment of all Nigerians.
Do you think Nigeria has to improve, like at this stage?
We have to improve on a lot of things. I mean, there should be they should develop their institutions. The institutions should start working. I mean, in administration, let the executive work, let the judiciary be independent, let the legislatures also take their good positions and do the rightful things. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Can you please tell us your name, sir?
Chinedu Amadi.
Can you please tell us how you feel about Nigeria's independence tomorrow?
Yeah, 65 years. Yes, it's a welcome development, and I think that the time is right for us to unite. Like our logo says, unity, peace, and progress. We the citizens, I think we need a reorientation, you know, love and respect for one another, not blaming the politicians. Everything is on the public sector. I believe also we in the private sector need to help the public sector people to be the best they can be. Thank you.
It's only one way. When we start telling each other the truth, that is just the thing. You understand? For now, I don't think anything is working. You get? The electoral system is fucked up and everything. Nothing is working in Nigeria. That's just my own understanding. Thank you very much.
2025, we are 65 years, right? It's a great privilege to be a Nigerian, the giant of Africa. Happy and shout out to every Nigerian citizen, no matter what we are going through. We believe that it will be well again. Yes, whatever it is, we are still the greatest and giant country in the whole Africa. Happy independence, everyone. Happy independent Nigeria.
Delegation is doing your best, even when no one is watching. It is the quiet force behind every masterpiece and every breakthrough. With consistency and focus, you don't just chase excellence, you become it. Stay dedicated, the results will speak.
Enugu State is known for its rich culinary heritage, with various local government areas contributing their unique dishes and specialties. Some popular dishes across Enugu State include Okpa, a traditional Igbo dish made from Bambara groundnuts; Abacha, a popular Nigerian dish made from dried shredded cassava; Nkwobi, a spicy cow leg dish; Abobo or Fiofio, a porridge made from pigeon peas; Ofe Akwu, a traditional Nigerian soup made with palm fruits oil extract; Akpu, a traditional Nigerian food made from cassava tubers; Ogba, a traditional Nigerian food ingredient made from fermented oil bean seeds; Okwa, African breadfruit often used in traditional dishes; Oha soup, a traditional Nigerian soup made with oha leaves and cocoyam paste. And going over to the local government areas, we begin in an Inri local government area, which is known for the following cassava-based dishes: gari, fufu, and processed flakes; market-made snacks like the okpa, which is the Bambara nut cake; Akara-style bean fritters, and palm oil-based salads. Ogo local government is known for its hearty soups and stews, pepper soup variants and goats and Newton preparations, staples, yam and cassava. Enugu's local government area is known for their special delicacy Nkwobi, Isiewu, spicy cow leg, and street foods like pepper soup and grilled fish, and packaged traditional foods like dried abacha flakes and pre-packed okpa. And Enugu North is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, oba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, oba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago also has the abacha and cassava-derived dishes, distinctive abacha preparations using dried and shredded cassava. Igbo Etiti local government is known for mixed staples like yam, cassava, and legumes with pigeon pea. They also have bean dishes like abobo, fiofio, and bean-based preparations. Igbo Eze North has rural produce like bambara nuts and cassava, as well as street breakfast items like okpa and akara. While Igbo Eze South has festive soups and cassava accompaniments like hearty soups and cassava derives like gari and fufu. In Isuzo local government area, the local government is known for highland crops like yam, tuber crops, and dry tuber dishes like variants, which is similar to achicha and abobo. Nkanu East also has the abacha styles and variants with different preparations using fresh native beans, fried ingredients, and local sauces of smoked fish. Nkanu West has yam and vegetable combos like festival dishes, combining tuber staples with special meat and seafood dressings. Nseka is known for their okpa, achicha, and abacha. They are widely reported as common local specialties, and they have the delicacy made with corn known as ayarayoka. Oji River is known for cassava-derived snacks, abacha ingredients, okwa, smoked fish, and okpaka. Is known for trade hubs and market supply. Udenu is known for garden vegetables and accompaniments and dry tuber preparations like leafy green soups and dry tuber snacks. Udi local government is also known for cassava products and abacha, popular abacha preparations, and cassava-based products with various soups. Uzuwani local government area is known for riverine and food networks, which are the okwa, tubers such as yam and cassava, and vegetable soups with their various ways of preparation, and also their festival cooking, which is a locally caught fish and smoked proteins.
October 1, 1960 marked the end of British colonial rule in Nigeria and the new era of a sovereign nation under a new constitution with a federal system of government. The long-awaited independence was the result of years of nationalist struggles, fights, and pain, championed by
The week is almost winding down, but you know, Thursday is actually the day that we begin to remember it is almost weekend, and the best of sports happens over the weekends. Yes, the weekend will see us get back to the Premier League, also to the Nigerian Premier Football League, and literally every other sport out there happens usually in the weekends. But yes, this week has seen lots of actions in the midweek as the UEFA Champions League Match Day 2 has just been concluded. There's also been games in the EFL Cup and also the Championship. Good afternoon and welcome to Extra Time on Aneke TV. This is where we bring to you the best of sports and we go around the world to check out what is happening in sports so that we bring them all to you. My name is Kelechi Naji and this is where we will give you the beats of everything that has happened. Now let's start from the Beijing Open to tell you that Yannick Sinner is expecting to have a tough tournament even in the absence of his closest rival in the person of Carlos Alcaraz. And also to tell you that Anisimova will be facing Coco Gauff as they both have excelled to the semi-finals of the Beijing Open. But now let's go straight to the story of Yannick Sinner as we will be starting the program today with tennis for traveling down to Shanghai hours later. And with no Carlos Alcaraz, who has withdrawn because of physical issues, Yannick Sinner maintains that his main rival in the ATP 1000 tournament looks to be a four-time Shanghai champion, Novak Djokovic, the veteran himself who has refused to retire because he has defied the odds of ages. Now, I have only one practice session to get ready, but let's see, Yannick Sinner said. It is going to be a very, very difficult, tough challenge, especially the first match. You never know what's going to happen. Now, Germany's 49th ranked Daniel Altmaier is Sinner's first opponent. And last year, Yannick Sinner beat Novak Djokovic in the finals of the Shanghai Open. But the 38-year-old Serb is coming into the competition fresh after cutting back the number of tournaments he has played. Remember that the rest of the tennis world have been complaining that there's been a lot of matches in the tennis season as it is becoming difficult for them to cope. Now, the number of matches in the men's and the women's tennis calendar has been a major talking point in recent years. And world number one Carlos Alcaraz on Tuesday said before pulling out of the Shanghai that they have to do something with the schedule, echoing the sentiments of fellow major champions in the persons of Iga Swiatek and Coco Gauff. Sinner said yesterday that he didn't want to criticize anything. Everyone thinks in different ways. I would say we can still choose as players which competition to participate in and which not to participate in. Still in tennis, let's tell you that it is time for the couple of the quarterfinals in Belgium with Coco Gauff, Eva Lise, Amanda Anisimova and Yasmin Paolini all battling for a spot in the last four, while the first round of the ATP actions continue in Shanghai. Benjamin Bonzi has progressed to the next round in Shanghai after beating Riley Opelka 7-6, 6-4, while Christopher O'Connell and Camille Majak have also advanced. Now, second seed and defending champion Coco Gauff is through to the semi-finals as she played earlier on today in Belgium after an impressive 6-3, 6-4 victory over Germany's Eva Lise. The American will face either compatriot Amanda Anisimova or Yasmin Paolini in the last four of the Shanghai Open. Jason Brodsky and Nuno Borges are through in the Shanghai after straight set win over James Kent and Botic van der Zandschulp, respectively. Francisco Camasana, Camilo Ugo Cabelli and Dalibo Shavina have also advanced in China. And that's enough of tennis this morning as we have gone to China to check out what's happening in both Beijing and Shanghai. Now let's get back to football and we bring it back home as the head coach of the Nigerian under-17 team also known as the Golden Eaglets, Manu Garba, has criticized the Confederation of African Football's decision to limit the number of teams that can qualify for the under-17 AFCON from WAFU B to just 2 after Nigeria fell short again at the regional qualification tournament. This is a tournament that Nigeria has really excelled at in recent years. The Golden Eaglets were beaten 2-0 in the second semi-finals of the WAFU B tournament on Tuesday in Ivory Coast, meaning they will not be part of the 2026 Under-17 AFCON and by extension the 2026 Under-17 World Cup, which has now become an annual tournament. The setback comes after failing to reach the finals of the previous editions in 2024, which cost them a place at the 2025 Under-17 AFCON and by extension, the expanded FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Now, after the latest setback, Garba, who led Nigeria to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup title in 2013, believes it is unfair to limit the zone, which has the strongest teams in the continent, to just 2 teams. Nigeria has won the FIFA Under-17 World Cup 5 times, the first in 1985, 1993, 2007, 2013, and 2015, the most by any country in the world. But the last time the team played at the tournament was in the 2019 edition in Brazil, where they crashed out in the round of 16 against the Netherlands. As things stand, Ghana and the Ivory Coast will pick the WAFU B tickets to the Under-17 AFCON. Now, in CAF's allocation of slots for the Under-17 AFCON, WAFU A, with 8 countries, have 3. WAFU B, with 7 countries, they have 2. And the North Zone, with 5 countries, have 3 slots. The Central Zone with 8 countries also have 2 slots. The Central East Zone with 10 countries have 3 slots, while the South Zone with 12 countries also have 3 slots. With 16 teams playing the Under-17 AFCON, Under-17 AFCON, Africa is expected to produce 10 teams for the 48-team FIFA Under-17 World Cup. But Nigeria will not be there because they failed to qualify for the AFCON. And that is why the coach is complaining, saying WAFU B should at least have more than just 2 slots to give. Now let's go to the Under-20 World Cup, as Nigeria's Flying Eagles will be desperate to reignite their FIFA Under-20 World Cup campaign when they take on Saudi Arabia in the second Group F clash in Chile today. 12 a.m. that match would be. So can we say today or tomorrow? Anyways, the 7 times African champions are slipped to a narrow 1-0 defeat against Norway in the opening fixture on Monday. And despite enjoying long spells of dominance and creating a number of clear opportunities, 1-2 occasions, their strong appeals for penalties were dismissed by the referee, leaving the players and technical crew frustrated at what might have been. The result was a bitter pill for coach Aliyu Zubairu's side to take. They had entered the tournament with high expectations, and the expectations are still very much alive as they face Saudi Arabia today. Nigeria, a 2-time finalist at this level, most recently in 2005, had targeted a winning start to ease their path into the knockout rounds. Instead, they now find themselves in a must-win situation against the Saudis, knowing that defeats would leave their qualification hopes hanging by a thread ahead of Sunday's decisive encounter with Colombia. Now, victory for Nigeria, however, would change the complexion of the group entirely, placing the Flying Eagles in a favorable position to advance to the round of 16. They will reach that round for the 3rd time in their appearance at the competition. Now, Zubairu, who guided the team to a 3rd place finish at the recent Under-20 African Cup of Nations, remains optimistic that his young squad will rise to the challenge. With all key players available, Zubairu is expected to stick with his preferred 4-3-3 formation, which allows the team to maintain balance between attack and midfield. There may, however, be some minor, adjustments in the forward line, where there is a little bit of problem because the team hasn't scored a goal yet in the tournament. Yes, just 1 match played, but it is a problem because the struggles has followed them since the AFCON. Now, the adjustments expected is that where the Eagles, struggled in composure in front of goal against the Norwegians, much will depend on the creativity of the midfield dynamo, Daniel Daga, who has been sitting deep in this tournament. You would expect that Daniel Daga will be pushed further forward so that he will help create more in the team. Now, the sharpness of the forward, Parobo Ariehi, Charles Agada, and Samson Lawal, who are all expected to shoulder the goal-scoring responsibility, the coach will definitely know that he needs to spur them to give their best in this game. Defensively, the Flying Eagles will have to be cautious, especially as Israel Ayuma, Daga, and Agada are already working on a disciplinary tightrope after picking up bookings in the opening game. Another yellow card would rule them out of the final group game against Colombia, a scenario Zubairu will definitely want to avoid. Now, Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, come into this fixture with confidence, having held Colombia to a hard-fought draw in their first game. Okay, it wasn't actually a draw, sorry. Colombia defeated Saudi Arabia in that game. Now, known for their physical style and compact defending, the Saudis are expected to pose a stem test to Nigeria's attack. Their defensive discipline combined with a counter-attacking approach could frustrate the Flying Eagles if patience and precision are not applied in the final third. Now, following the under-17 team's elimination from the WAFB tournament, all eyes will now be on the under-20 as there will be lots of expectations from Nigerians that this under-20 team make Nigerians happy and proud. Now, the Flying Eagles, it is not only pivotal for the Flying Eagles to change their fate immediately, but also it is symbolic of how far this generation of Nigeria's age-grade sides can go in the world football. Now, the team is struggling, but we would definitely expect that they pick up quickly and change the tidings. Now, let's go straight to Europe to give you what happened in the UEFA Champions League. It was Tuesday and Wednesday fixtures, but yesterday there were some exciting results as Paris Saint-Germain, the Champions League holders, once again showed why they are the defending champions. The holders, PSG, came from behind to beat Barcelona 2-1 with a last-minute goal in the Champions League on Wednesday, while Manchester City had to settle for a draw in Monaco despite Erling Haaland's double, a game Erling Haaland has said his teammates were just not good enough. Elsewhere, there were comfortable wins for Arsenal and Newcastle United, as Napoli and Borussia Dortmund were amongst other teams to claim victories on the second match day of the league phase. Now, the meetings at the Montjuic in Spanish champions and the reigning French and European champions was one of the mostly eagerly anticipated of the opening stage of the season's competition, and it lived up to the billing. Despite Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele missing out injured for an understrength PSG, with Lamine Yamal showing flashes of his brilliance for the hosts. Barcelona went ahead in the 19th minute as a well-worked goal. The move started with Marcus Rashford before he set up Ferran Torres to score the goal. Marcus Rashford definitely enjoying himself in the UEFA Champions League right now and also in the La Liga with Barcelona, while Manchester United continue their struggle. Sani Mayulu equalized for the Parisians, and the substitute Goncalo Ramos netted a 90th minute winner for the European champions. It was a great game between two really good sides. Paris Saint-Germain coach Luis Enrique said after the game, it shows the strength and the mentality of our side, that whoever is on the field, we can play like a real team. Remember, PSG has suffered lots of injury lately, and that is why the coach is talking about whoever is on the field, because they are missing the services of Dembele, Desire Doué, the captain of the side, Marquinhos, and also Vicha Kvaratskhelia missing in that one. Now let's move on from there to tell you that Haaland scored twice in the first half to move to 52 career Champions League goals from 50 appearances. But the 2023 tournament winner, Manchester City, were held 2-2 in Monaco. Jordan Teze's turning hit in between Haaland's strike kept Monaco in the game until they won a late penalty as Nico Gonzalez was penalized following a VAR review for a high boot on Eric Dyer. Dyer himself got up to convert from the spot and give Monaco their first point in the competition this season, denying Manchester City a second win from as many games. And after the game, Pep Guardiola said, "I don't know if it was a penalty, but it was given." So that's that. You just have to leave it like that. It is what it is. We have a point and we will take it. And that about Manchester City. Let's now tell you that Arsenal has maintained their 100% record with a 2-0 defeat to Olympiacos in London, with Gabriel Martinelli following in to score a 12th-minute opener after Victor Gyökeres hit a shot on the post. The Gunners sealed the point in the late hours of the game. It was the stoppage time as substitute Bukayo Saka scored with a shot that squamed under the Greek goalkeeper Kostas Zolokais. And it was another comfortable victory for Arsenal as they have now started their Champions League season with a brilliant performance. 100% performance, 4 goals scored, 0 conceded. Could this be the season Arsenal clinch their first ever UEFA Champions League title? We will definitely find out by the end of the season. Winning in the Champions League is always very complicated. It is yet another clean sheet for the boys in the competition, which is remarkable, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta said after the game. And after Arsenal, while Arsenal were also winning, Newcastle United, Borussia Dortmund were also on the winning side as the both sides scored 4 in the night. Earlier, Newcastle got their campaign up and running by cruising to a 4-0 victory over Belgian champion Union Saint-Galois in Brussels. Nick Voltamade diverted a Sandro Tonali shot into the net for the opener and his third goal in 4 starts for the club. Anthony Gordon then scored 2 penalties either side of the halftime before substitute Harvey Barnes wrapped up the success late on. Borussia Dortmund, on the other hand, were also impressive winners as they beat 2024 finalists. The 2024 finalists tore Atletico Bilbao into tatters with a 4-1 win. Daniel Svensson put them ahead in the first half, and Kani Chukwuemeka made it 2 soon after the interval. And Gorka Goruzeta got one back for Athletic Club, but Sehu Guirassy and Julian Brandt sealed a fine win for the German club. In southern Italy, there was also some performance as Rasmus Højlund, the former Manchester United striker. All right, you could still say the Manchester United striker who is on loan at Napoli, he got a brace as Napoli claimed their first victory in the UEFA Champions League this season, beating Sporting 2-1. Luis Suarez had equalized for the Portuguese champions at one point in the second half with a penalty. And then, Rasmus eventually got the winner. Juventus, who drew 4-4 with Dortmund in the opening game of the season for them, played a 2-2 draw stalemate with Villarreal in Spain. Jorge Mikatazi gave the hosts the lead, only for Federico Gatti to equalize with an overhead kick before Chico Conceição gave the Italians the advantage. But Renato Vega, who spent his second half of last season on loan at Juventus from Chelsea and then eventually joining Villarreal this season from Chelsea, headed in the equalizing goal for Villarreal, which meant it ended 2-2. Bayer Leverkusen and PSV Eindhoven ended in a draw in Germany, with Christian Kofani giving the host the lead, only for Ismail Saibari to equalize for the Dutch side. Now, Karabakh are the sensation of the competition so far, with the club from Azerbaijan following a win over Benfica 2 weeks ago by beating FC Copenhagen 2-0 in Baku. Abdullah Zobir and Emmanuel Adai got the goals, and Karabakh are one of the 6 teams on 6 points alongside Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and PSG. Inter Milan and Arsenal as well are all on 6 points as the UEFA Champions League stands right now. Now, let's also tell you that there will be actions in the UEFA Europa League and the UEFA Conference League later on this evening. And there will be games involving Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and even Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, do not forget, qualified for the Europa League by the virtue of winning the FA Cup last season in the English, footballing system, but they were demoted to the Conference League due to their multi-club owner situations, and the UEFA rules does not allow one club, two clubs owned by one person to participate in the same competition. And Lyon participating in the Europa League meant that Crystal Palace would participate in the Conference League instead. So these are the fixtures from the Europa League this evening. Bologna will be up against Freiburg, while Bern will be up against Utrecht. Celtic will host Braga. FC SB will be up against Young Boys. Fenerbahce versus OGC Nice. Ludogorets versus Real Betis. Panathinaikos versus Go Ahead Eagles. Roma versus Lille. Victoria Pleasant versus Malmo FFK. Basel versus Stuttgart. Celta Vigo versus PAOK Athens. Feyenoord versus Aston Villa. Genk versus Ferencvaros. Lyon versus Salzburg. Maccabi Tel Aviv versus GNK Dynamo, while Nottingham Forest will be hosting FC Nordjylland. And FC Porto will be up against Zvezda Zvezda, and Stormgrass will be at home against Rangers of Scotland. Until we meet again tomorrow, it is still extra time on Aneke TV, and this is where you get the best of sports in the world. And we will always travel around the globe to get you the beats of everything happening in sports. My name remains Kelechi Nnaji, and you should do well to follow Aneke TV on social media. You should go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and check out Aneke TV, even X. It is Aneke TV on all platforms. So stay good and make sure you enjoy yourself, because there is sports for everyone to enjoy. Bye for now.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba.
I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
kwanu dini ma showo didi de kokori go to ne go da won na bu iya go to ne ke iya go da won no go mo bu ke go to ne ke ayi de ke je go to ne ke go mo ga shi do go ko ma sha bi go to ne ke chi lo le ma lo lo go ya ka ka wo ele yo babari wo bu ji be go je ka ka le wala gida jogu gwide ya dolu gula bole jenu ketongo dulo tokoro iya mwaza mwete mwogu mwatushi mwana yide yi mwazu mwogwe mwaza mwana kukoto je yi dama choro Omabogwe. Iya, ogaracho. Ojo yu wor go geje. Ojo yu wor go geje. Omabogwe. Iya wa gide buwi. Wigo, abalejanu guzo. Ebe bulo woru bulujede. Dokalejanu guzo ebe bulo woru bulujede. Abe makwalo yu jedile jinu ka dole jo kabo.
Yes, thanks for joining us on the program, The Arena, where we meet to take on burning topical issues and matters facing us as a people in society. By the way, it's Independence. Nigeria at 65. Happy Independence, Nigeria. Okay, my name is Chris Anibuogo, and today on The Arena, coming to you on Aneke television, we're running a series of Nigeria's independence. It's 65 years of our political journey. How far have we come? How well have we gone? These are some of the issues on the lips of Nigerians. Today on the show, we want to take a look at a very critical and crucial sector, because some analysts, pundits have described this sector as being the superstructure upon which every other sector falls upon. And we're talking about the political structure. So today on the program, we want to look at Nigeria 65, the political development and happenings as far as our country, Nigeria, is concerned till date. And to help us do justice to this matter is a regular on this show, a principal lecturer at the Institute of Management and Technology, IMT, here in Enugu, from the Department of Public Administration. Dr. Emeka Nwanze is here with us. Doc, it's a pleasure having you join us.
Great Nigerians, happy Independence Day.
And happy Independence to you too, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's unleash the dish this day. If you go out there on the streets of Nigeria, I tell you, it's a mixed feelings, mixed reactions coming from the people. For some persons, it's independence celebration. and is worth celebrating. But for some others, they just do not even wish to talk about it. Maybe due to obvious economic situation in the country, people are not satisfied and all of that with our journey so far. But I don't know which side of the fence you may be sitting, Dr. Wanze. So for you, Nigeria is 65 years. Are you satisfied with how much we've come so far as a people?
Let's go back in history, because Karl Marx said for you to know what will happen, you must know what has happened. Nigeria has gone a long way in history that started 65 years ago. In Nigeria, last 65 years was when Nigeria was hosting, transferring Union Jack to green, white, green. That is our emergence of our independence from the British colonial masters. And since then, Nigeria have been on a journey. But I want to start by saying, if a man who is 65 and is not married, that man, by normal ranking, is not doing well. By 65, a man is supposed to be a grandfather. By 65, a woman is supposed to be great-grandmother, if things are working the way they ought to work.
All things being equal.
And whatever you are seeing in Nigeria today is not just something that started today. It has been a cumulative of disappointments coming from the past leaders, coming from military dictatorship in the military era, transitioning to segments like First Republic, Second Republic. Then we are in Fourth Republic that have not been truncated since 1999. But I tell you the truth, instead of things becoming better, things will always come up from better to worse. And it's not supposed to be so. So what people are experiencing today is what we call post-independence disillusionment. They are disillusioned. They are disappointed. They are not happy. Things that are supposed to make them to be happy. I've been to places today. I went to hospital this morning with my wife for checkup. Even the nurses that are there, they say they are not celebrating independence. That what they are celebrating is New Month.
New Month?
Yes. And I asked a question. They said they are not from Nigeria. Because of what they said, Nigeria is not a place where you can be proud to say, I am from Nigeria. Because Nigeria have infested in them poverty and untold hardship in a grand style. And what happened? It's not as if Nigeria as a geopolitical zone or a geopolitical, natural, geographical place created by God himself is bad. But what I envisaged in their statements and the way they react to today's anniversary is that the leaders in the past, and with this, I don't know why the national anthem we use that says, let the heroes, the labors of our heroes past, not be in vain. That thing is very prophetic. And that national anthem that this current federal government changed is when they started getting what is happening now wrong and wrong. I am even moving emotion that that's our heroes past. That national anthem should be reinstated. Because of what?
Arise, O compatriots.
Yes, O compatriots. What are the compatriots? We are talking of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. We are talking about Obafemi Awolowo. We are talking about Ahmadu Bello and Herbert Macaulay. These are the people that paid with their lives trying to agitate for self-governance, trying to tell the British people that these things you are doing is man's inhumanity to his fellow man, that we can do it ourselves. And at the end of the day, their agitations yielded fruit by the British government going and handing over power to Tafawa Balewa. Now Nigeria started with parliamentary system of government according to the British rule. Till today, British people are still practicing parliamentary system of government, where you have the head of state and the head of government. The prime minister is the head of state. The queen is the prime minister is head of government. The queen is the head of state. But it didn't work in Nigeria. And based on that, in 1979, which happened to be our first republic, we resorted to presidentialism. According to 1979 Constitution, it was federal system of government. In a federal system of government, according to American style, the president is the head, commander-in-chief, the head of state, the head of government, and commander-in-chief of the military, armed forces. But then, after 1979-83, military came back again. And what is their reason? Or what prompted their coming back is that the politicians, they were accused that 1983 election was masterminded by rigging and corruption in the high places. But when the military enters the government to correct the abnormalities, we still see corruption holding sway. We still see the things that they have accused politicians doing the same thing. Now, in 1999, to date, about 26 years back, we have entered into untruncated Fourth Republic in democratic grand style. And it started with not Shehu Shagari this time around, Olusegun Obasanjo, who used to be the first ever man to have been the president of this country in the military and in the civilian. Now, a lot of things. Economy, he touched on our economy, economic reforms. He touched on security. He touched on other things. Then the successors also came. Yar'Adua came and had his 7-point agenda, and in the process of those 7-point agenda, he kicked the bucket. You know, he surrendered to the cold hands of death. Then his successor, who is Jonathan Goodluck, also entered, and in 5 years could not do much. Started from where he stopped in the reforms, and by 2015 election, Jonathan was won by the late Buhari, and our economy became worse than ever before. That people will now say this Buhari regime on the calendar, and economy, things, rising cost of living became very high. Dollar per naira became high. House rent became high. A lot of things became high. And we are still trying to come from the coma of Buhari's government and administration. The current government now took over power. And on the day of inauguration, on 2023, May 29th, a lot of things, we witnessed a lot of things. One is the withdrawal of fuel subsidy by the current federal government. And since then, the hardship now raised to power too. Now it became very, do I call it, in geometrical progressions. That prices of commodities tripled. The prices of fuel from 200 naira rose to date 900, 800, depending on where you bought your own, and house rent, and school fees, and cost of feeding. The painter of Gary went up to there was a time it was sold for 3,250. Today it has come down, but it's coming down in 1,005. No, a bag of rice, I bought one this afternoon, it says 56,000 for 50 kg. But this rice, in those days of Jonathan Goodluck, we buy it 12,000. We bought it 15,000. And it's not as if they are using dollars to get rice. So that Nigeria has ripened at 65 to have what we call economic emancipation. That's reliability of economic stay that will make the citizens bettered. That will create a welfare state that will make people to say, if I travel outside the country, I will say, I am proud to be a Nigerian.
Well, what a lengthy, presentation there by Dr. Aneke Nwanze. Thank you for, taking us down memory lane, taking us from where we started as a people from 1960 when we gained our independence down to where we are currently in leadership. So, in a nutshell, we can take it from you that you are not satisfied with how far we've come so far politically. Right? You're not satisfied.
Sure.
Okay. So you're an academician. If you were to grade or give us a pass mark now, what will it be for you? A C, a B, or an A? Our political journey. How far have we come? If you're to grade us.
I am to grade Nigeria.
Yes.
In terms of grade, they are below average.
Below
if
average,
you like, in that grade, they have scored D, not C. D.
A D?
Yes.
Not an C?
Not C. Because C is relatively passed.
And that
if you score D in WAEC, in mathematics, or in English, you are coming back to write WAEC again.
That's near failure.
Have we ever stopped to ask ourselves, why is it that graduates don't have jobs here? Why is it that our graduates, Jabba, they fly out to make money outside this country?
In millions.
And when they make money in outside in UK, in Canada, in US, and they come back here, if they're selling a bag of cement 10,000 naira, they can buy 100 ones. You know why? Because our naira is devalued. Our naira is devalued. And someone is in the position to make our naira to be valuable. Someone is in the position to make our naira to count. Someone is in the position to create a job that our youth will be busy. Someone is in the position to make, even if the youth are not working, that they can go home with something, a stipend, that they can call monthly allowances, as can be seen in other countries. Someone can go home if they are taxing citizens on every size. The citizens that are being taxed should also feel very, very comforted that they are being taxed. If you are not being taxed directly, you are being taxed indirectly. So the citizens should be happy that I am a citizen of this country. I mean, all over the world, there is some economic, recess. But when we compare what is happening in other countries with that of Nigeria, you see that Nigeria is ranking according to world statistics at this, do I call it international standard of measuring what is poor. Nigeria is ranking very, 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 is at the back. Why? Because our gross domestic product, GDP, is very, very low. Because GDP is measured in terms of per capita income. It is measured in terms of what do you produce. And we are talking of reliant on borrowing loans from multinational financial institutions, from other national institutions, and these loans are not expended in production. If it is not expended in production, it then means it is expended in consumption. It is expended in corruption. It is expended in someone else's individual interest or personal interest as against public interest. These are the reasons. Now, there are certain challenges that we may talk on this platform.
We'll come to those.
Yeah, so
we'll come to
these
that.
are the things. I'm talking my views. And I believe that what I'm talking, having talked to people outside there in the market, in the hospital, all over in Enugu before now, that they are not happy, and some say they are not celebrating, some say they are not Nigerians, a lot of things. I mean, if you begin to interview them one after the other, you would still hear different views, different opinions. I think this is a high time the Nigerian leaders sit tight and ask a question. If I am 65 as a man and I'm not married, will I be counted as a responsible man? The answer is obviously no.
No.
In my village, in my town where I hail from, if you are 65 without marriage, they struck you off from what is, they will just see you as that you cannot marry again. And if you are not married, even in the economic and world standard, you are not responsible. What makes a man responsible is that he is married, he has children that he is accountable to. So Nigeria by 65 supposed to have what we call a stability economically. What we are suffering today, security, this and that. And I ask myself each time they say insecurity, insurgency, unknown gunmen, terrorism. In the north, you talk of Boko Harams. In the east here, you talk of unknown gunmen. In the west, you talk of other things. And I begin to ask a question that have not been answered. Is it that the terrorists, the unknown gunmen, the Boko Haram that don't have instrumentality legal of coercion, are they stronger than the Nigerian military, the Nigerian DSS, the Nigerian police that have what to call, do I call it, license legally occupation of instrumentality of coercion? If somebody that is not a policeman or an army is found with unlicensed gun, it is illegal according to Nigerian constitution. But these people it's like they are trying to weigh everybody down. And that is where I see that it is a political problem, which is part of Nigerian problem. It is political motivated problem that maybe a group of people somewhere are trying to kind of frustrate the effort of Nigeria in trying to make peace and security to become the order of the day in Nigeria. And if I am 65 today, by 65 in Polytechnic, you are so said to have retired if you're a lecturer. If you are not a lecturer, if you are in non-teaching, by 60, you are going home, as in normal civil service, or even in my school. If you are 60 and you are not a lecturer, you are going. as in you are due for retirement. Now, can we ask ourselves this question? By 65 today, we are supposed to become a kind of a consultant to other nations. There are other nations in Africa that Nigeria gained independence before. Like, let me just quickly say this before I forget. In the early 80s, Malaysia came to Nigeria and took our palm nuts and went to Malaysia and started doing palm plantation. Today, Malaysia is the highest producer of palm oil. They produce palm oil in different grand style. They use it to build what I call brake pads and clutches. They do a kind of recycling from palm oil, from pomade, from oil, from palm oil. From the palm kernels is used in doing some of this cake for supplements for animals. A lot of things that are being recycled. What is it not people that took it from us, that went and did it, and today they are #1 in terms of oil production in palm oil. So which means more or less, or in 70% of Nigerian problem from 1960 to date is more of leadership problem.
More of leadership problem, like the Nobel laureate, God bless it so, Chinua Achebe will write in his book, The Problem with Nigeria is Leadership. So he said, Dr. Wanze, I wouldn't know. We are looking at our political journey since 1965. Nigeria gained our independence in 1965. You've told us that you are not satisfied with our journey so far as a people. As well, you've also been able to grade our journey so far. A D is near failure. Let's look at the political systems that we have practiced as a people from 1960 till date. Just maybe our problem could be as a result of the system we practice. For some persons, they want to blame the military for ever coming into Nigerian political scene. Some others want to blame it upon colonialism, that the white men who came here never did us any good, that they came, captured our land, took over our resources, and at the end of the day, married the people that were not supposed to be married together just to satisfy their own interests, and then they left us on that note. You know what I mean? The amalgamation of Nigeria, bringing together of the southern and northern people together under one roof called Nigeria. So I wouldn't know. For a lot of people, they want to lay hands to different reasons why we are still struggling with our political journey as a people. So, but for you, I don't know. Would you want to blame our problems on colonialism? Do you want to blame it on militarism? Do you want to blame it? We once upon a time practiced parliamentary system of government. That was the First Republic before the military struck. Now we are practicing an adopted system called presidential system, which we borrowed from the United States of America. But some others have equally looked critically at the system, the presidential system we are practicing, and says, we borrow from the US on the papers. But in terms of practice, we are not practicing what we actually copied from the United States, because what they do over there seems to be different from what we are doing here. In the US, the different states are responsible for their various resources.
Through federalism.
Through federalism. And they give back to the central government to take care of certain sectors like let's say the currency, the military, you understand, foreign relations. But then the subnationals, the states, are responsible for the development of their various places. Do you understand? If actually we borrow the presidential system of government from the US, how come here the central government in Nigeria is responsible for the resources, and then they give allocation back to the subnationals? So for you,
let me come in.
Where will you want to put the blame?
Let me
beginning from colonialism.
The greatest thing that happened to Nigeria is Nigerian colonialism.
Nigerian colonialism.
The British people are 100% better than Nigerians in terms of equity, in terms of good governance, in terms of truth table, in terms of integrity, in terms of resource explorations. Why do I say so?
Why do you say so?
if you see the houses that are built by the colonial master and the roads, you can compare them with the kind of junk roads that our contractors used to do today.
The one the British built while they were here with us?
Yes.
Okay.
The Trunk A Road, even the Milliken Hill, the Milliken is a name of one of the colonial master in those days that ruled in Enugu, and he was the person that masterminded the breaking of that hill. When they build something, they build bridge, they build it to the taste that it will last, to the taste that is going to serve for a long time. But give our people the contract to do it, they go for cheap labor in order to save money.
So are you blaming that on colonialism?
Now listen, Chris. Why I said some of the things we are saying, some of the things we discovered, some of the things before they are coming, we were wallowing in ignorance. Discovery of the petroleum that is do I call it? It was not discovered by an Igbo man or a Nigeria. It was discovered by Shell BP, which is a British company. What we are speaking now, is it our language? Look at the way you dress. They opened our eye, they gave us education. And they dropped a kind of a paradigm. They dropped a system that can run us and make us better. We undermine the system with corruption by having what we call do I call it selfish aggrandizement to enrich ourselves overnight. What the British people, why I say that they are the best thing that has happened to us, they are motivated by legacy. A legacy eternal. And people are motivated by selfish stomach infrastructures, selfish pockets. Now now look at, let me use this medium. There is no moral justification where Fubara could have been suspended. And the military, we said, is the worst form of democracy. A military man came to what? River State for 6 months. He has no moral justification. Where is a governor that was elected should be suspended for 6 months. And that is the reason why the lawyers in Nigeria were supposed to do their conference in River State by that August. They say that what came from the federal government to have suspended a sitting governor that was elected by the people is incongruent with natural justice, equity, and good conscience. And the Nigerian Bar Association cannot have a meeting in River State. I'll give you another example. Why should in our Senate, a particular senator, Natasha, was suspended for 6 months, even coming to resume office, become a problem? These are the problems we are suffering in Nigeria. And today, it is one party, a particular party will turn justice upside down. We are coming to reforms. You know, if we don't preach and go for strong institutions, Nigeria will be in state of motion without moving. Now look at, I was just trying to read my phone. I was just looking at, you will see someone that may be appointed as the person that will succeed the former INEC chairman. It has not happened in that way before. For every sitting president will always appoint someone that is not from his own geopolitical zone, for transparency, for equity, for good governance. Yes, but if I am a president of Igbo extraction and I appoint an independent INEC chairman from Igbo extraction, it is not fair. It has not happened in Nigeria before, and it's about to happen now. These are the things. I said the leadership is the problem. It's not about now. It's not about the.
It's not about the system.
It's not about the system. Now, let me shock you. If a bad driver who doesn't know how to drive enters in a new vehicle, he's bound to crash that vehicle. But except someone who is trained on how to drive handles the steering, he will drive, go out and park the car.
So it's not about the vehicle, it's about the driver.
It's about the driver.
What if the vehicle is faulty?
I say a brand new vehicle. I didn't say a faulty vehicle. With a wrong driver, a person who doesn't know how to drive, that new vehicle must be clashed by that driver because he doesn't know how to drive. So now, I'm moving emotion that our leader is supposed to be going to training on leadership. Not just trying to lead because I feel like I can lead. I feel that I can do it. And reorientation and the change of paradigm. Reorientation of our mindset. That Nigeria belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to any particular person. As I speak without fear and favor. I speak because I know that at the age of 50, I am supposed to tell the truth. And if I cannot tell the truth the way I am now, the truth cannot
somebody
come.
once said,
and that's the reason why people are
somebody in this country once said,
ashamed and are not happy.
if you
By
say the
65,
truth,
we are still.
somebody once said,
I am willing to die if I say the truth.
Somebody said once upon a time that if you say the truth, you die.
Yes.
You don't tell the truth, you die.
Do you know Mele say,
so he said, why not say the truth?
So if you don't say the truth, you still die.
So
I'd rather say the truth.
On that note, we want to pause you now because we want to go on a quick short break. And when we return the conversation, we are not done yet because I think my producer has been able to secure enough time for us on this show. So we are going to look at a whole lot of issues, okay, and then maybe we'll conclude with the way forward for Nigeria. So for you, we are not where we should be politically, but for you again, it's not a problem of the system we practice. It could be parliamentary, it could be
it's a problem of who manages the system.
It could be whatever it is, but then it's not about these systems. Rather, it's about the people. So stay with us, dear viewer. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world. Okay, good to have you return with us on the show. It is still the arena on Aneke Television, and it is Independence, Nigeria Independence Special. And we're looking at our political journey in Nigeria. Dr. Wanz is still here with us, and then we want to continue with you, but then on a different direction now. Well, we said we're not blaming our problems, our political problems, on the political systems we practice, because in comparative political analysis, you'll agree with me that the systems of government we've tried in this country that has not worked or not working seem to be working elsewhere. So what is the magic? But then we'll keep all of that aside. Dr. Mekawanze, as a people, the politics of divide and rule introduced by the colonial masters, where we had the eastern region, the western region, and the northern region left as a whole block. Some persons say it is part of our problem because we've not been able to overcome that ethnicity that is deeply and sharply dividing us as a people. For instance, the Igbo man sees himself as an Igbo man before seeing himself as a Nigerian. The man from the north sees himself as an Hausa man, a Fulani man, before seeing himself as a Nigerian. And the man from the west sees himself to be a Yoruba man first, before he even considers himself as a Nigerian. Is that not a problem? Isn't that a problem? Part of our problem. So that even if you have your brother from the north, from the east or west, in political position, whether he's capable, whether he has what it takes to be there or not, just because he's from your own ethnic nationality, you seem to be comfortable with it. Isn't that a problem? Ethnicity, tribalism, even religion.
There are so many indicators and indices of our Nigerian challenges
Go ahead,
and
sir.
problems.
Go ahead, sir.
Ethnicity is one of them. But even at that, if you're a Yoruba man and you have your own state to rule, you still show good example. We're talking about people that is leading, not the system. Ethnicity is one of it. But it's not, I'm not blaming it wholly on ethnicity. Why? If you assume leadership position as a Yoruba man leading Nigeria, or as an Hausa man leading Nigeria, as an Igbo man who have only ruled for 6 months in the military dictatorship, in democracy, an Igbo man have not assumed power, you show good exemplary leadership.
Are you sure about that? What about the days of Nnamdi Azikiwe as the president of Nigeria?
It's just a toothless bulldog.
How do you mean?
What I mean is that Nnamdi Azikiwe was not an executive president. The person that was executive president even then was Shehu Shagari, who is an Hausa man. So Nnamdi Azikiwe, remember that it was in the days of parliamentary system of government. The chief executive then was Tafawa Balewa.
Who was the prime minister?
Prime minister, that's chief executive.
Yeah.
In parliamentary system of government, which is working. That's why I say it's not the system we are practicing. The UK that all of us wants to go today is still in parliamentary system.
That's right.
The America that everybody wants to go and get their dollar is still in presidential system.
That's
and
right.
we have practiced the do. And it's not working. Which means that is why I will say it time and time again, even at a gunpoint, that it is not the system. It's about the people that operate the system. Now I was saying something about ethnicity. Yeah, good. Today, Sikh is known for one Nigeria.
That was his philosophy and ideology.
That if you are coming from the north, if you are coming from the east, if you are coming from the west, it does not matter. What matters is he sees himself as a Nigerian, and Nigeria should be good. To Awolowo will say, I am first Ijabu, a Yoruba, before a Nigeria. This is a statement that is infested in tribalism. Am I communicating?
Go ahead.
Good. Then the Northerners are also, when they assume power, they empower everybody from the north and other things and use it to build a hedge around their government. But I want to also say this, and say it loud, that Nigeria ethnicity is one of the problems. But I'm not blaming what is happening in Nigerian government today to be ethnicity. But also there's what we call asymmetrical, a kind of dissemination of powers in terms of inequality or disequilibrium. Now, I want to use this medium to say, if there's people that are disillusioned more than any other geopolitical unit in Nigeria, the Igbos are.
Is it because you're an Igbo man?
No. I'm talking as a Nigerian now, not as a detribalized Nigeria, not because I am an Igbo man. Even if the heavens will bear me witness that what I'm saying is nothing but the truth. You are wearing something that looks like white. Anybody that sees this white and say that it's black, either he has a vision problem or he doesn't want to stand on the truth because it is white. And it's apparently white. Now, look at the system of government from 1999. Let us forget about 1960 to 1999. We're talking about from 1999 and Fourth Republic.
Go ahead.
To date.
Go ahead.
The Hausa man have become a president in this country and vice president. That is repeatedly, that is as in reverse order, head, back. The Yoruba man has also been a president in this country from 1999 in a reverse order. That is, has been in reverse order as a vice president. But the Igbo extraction has not been even a vice president, not to talk of president.
But these are not the only ethnic nationalities we have in Nigeria. We have over how many other ethnic nationalities?
Good.
Must it always be the Hausa man, the Yoruba man, the Igbo man?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Pundit.
How many languages do we have that are kind of recognized in Nigeria today, as in 3 major languages?
Okay, 3 major you mean?
Yes.
Okay, who could say the Igbo, Hausa, and the Yoruba?
How many 3 major tribes too? Can you answer it?
That's exactly what I just said.
So if the 3 major languages that has been recognized, both national and international, and the 3 major tribes, both national and international, is Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. Why not the Igbo man? Yes. Now remember, 1967 cannot go unremembered about what has happened in terms of agitation from Ojukwu,
that led to the
Yakubu,
Civil War.
led to the Civil War. It cannot be just, it can't be swept under the carpet. Because some people are trying, you remember you mentioned the colonial people trying to model every tribe as one entity. And when somebody now discovered that maybe politically, these things are not blending, and a particular group wants to like become independent and trying to look for self-actualization, it didn't work. And the agitation is still ongoing as I speak. And that is the reason. Then if, like I said, if the agitation is not being noticed or it cannot be granted, let there be equilibrium in terms of sharing of the political powers, in terms of who gets what, when and how, in terms of who pilots the ships of the affairs of the Nigeria. Remember, in 2022, there is a very big problem that was coming from PDP. When they zoned the presidency to the south, they gave Atiku Abubakar the ticket. That is where the reign started. Assuming that the ticket was APC South, PDP, because these were the two notable political parties today.
PDP and the APC.
Yeah,
as
they
at
are
that
running
time.
as opposition, in reverse order. Yes, PDP, APC collected power from PDP. Then the South should be given the opportunity to raise a candidate in PDP. They still mounted a Northerner.
But the party said they were throwing it open.
So these are the
party said they left theirs open.
These are the complexities in the Nigerian political terrain since 1960 till now, and it's not making any progress for us. Now, if you are given an opportunity to become the president of this country, whether you are from north or south or east, what I'm saying, what I'm praying, what I'm propagating, what I am trying to say is that find a way to begin to harness the things that have gone wrong, because there are so many things that needed to be addressed. If we don't say it, this discussion is we have not.
Let's have it. Go ahead, talk.
Now, in this country, you mentioned U.S. that things are not working the way in presidential system of government in U.S. is not because one, in U.S. they are practicing what we call physical or true federalism, where the state harnesses the resources that are coming from them and pay a stipend to the center. True federalism, you talk of devolution of powers. You talk of where the state have the power to even produce a state police, harness the resources that are coming from them and pay a stipend to the center. It's part of what will heal our indifferences and our disequilibrium.
Now you're proffering solutions on the way forward. Yes. So go ahead, sir.
Now, I want to also preach for strong institutions. Strong institutions, reforms, because this is where the problem comes. If you say independent National Electoral Commission, independent means they should be free from control from the executive. They should be free from control from politicians. They should be free from control from anything that will not make them to be independent. And independence should become independent, not be independent and at the same time dependent. Because another election is coming as I speak. And if whoever that will come Nigerian independent electoral chairman is not independent indeed, I will tell you before 2027 election, that the election has been has been coward, has been polluted before the election. Because there are certain indicators that will make something to be free and fair. If I'm running a governor of Enugu State tomorrow, and you are from Natch, and I, as the governor being seated, appoints you from Natch to become independent electoral umpire in that election, the thing have started cowering. I have started blowing a whistle for what? On free and fair. These are the things. Then also, we are talking of insecurity. Most of our brothers that stays in UK and other part of this country are afraid of coming. They are afraid of their shadows when they come to Nigeria. Why? Because of insecurity. Then the government, whether state or federal, even local government, should have purported attempt to beef the security apparatuses in Nigeria.
In Nigeria as a whole.
As a whole.
We have about a minute to go now.
Now, we should give the security. Now, in terms of social infrastructure, you cannot talk of a country that is happy or that is developed without existing some basic necessities of life, which should be made available for the citizens. I'll talk of good roads, pipe bomb waters, cottage hospitals, and even general hospitals. Then when I talk of strong institutions, there should be independence of judiciary. Not a judiciary that is controlled by the state. Or judiciary that is, when I mean state here, not just state as a constituency, state as national. Because the hope of the common man is the judiciary. And if the judiciary is coming out with fear that they could be polluted or that they could be bought over by whichever phenomenon, then they will not dispense justice without fear or favor.
Dr.
Whatever they dispense must have been a kind of control by unseen hands.
We want to appreciate you, sir, for your time with us on this show. The problem, the discussion around Nigerian political, problems will never end in just a one-off program like this. So we are going to keep running it in series from time to time, and we hope you avail us your time when we call on you, sir. You've been very resourceful on the show. You've been able to identify where the problems lie, and you've been able to give a clear-cut way forward for us as a country. Well, it's not about the system we practice, according to Dr. Mekawanze on the arena today. It's as a result of our mindset, the people themselves. Because today it is Bola Tinubu who is the president. Tomorrow it could be anyone else. So we need to change our mindset. We need to make our institutions stronger, more independent. And he has said a lot. So can we please practice what we preach? Until we come your way again, it is Happy Independence, Nigeria. My name is Chris Anibogo.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites, and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders, and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence, and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians, and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors, and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse, and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meets.
Conflict is normal, but violence is not. Disagreements, handled with respect, lead to growth, not destruction. Learn to listen, not just argue. Peaceful resolution is a sign of maturity.
Yes, Nigeria is, I would say, is now aged to be able to take care of her citizens. But the unfortunate underlying word is that people are not finding it funny. Myself, I'm not finding it very funny. So there should be a change for good, and for the betterment of all Nigerians.
Do you think Nigeria's leaders need to improve, like at this stage?
We have to improve on a lot of things. I mean, there should be, they should develop their institutions. The institutions should start working. I mean, in administration. Let the executive work, let the judiciary be independent, let the legislatures also take their good positions and do the rightful things. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Can you please tell us your name, sir?
Chinedu Amadi.
Can you please tell us how you feel about Nigeria celebrating independence tomorrow?
Yeah, 65 years. Yes, it's a welcome development, and I think that the time is right for us to unite. Like our logo says, unity, peace, and progress. We the citizens, I think we need a reorientation, love and respect for one another, not blaming the politicians. Everything is on the public sector. I believe also we in the private sector need to help the public sector people to be the best they can be. Thank you.
It's only one way. When we start telling each other the truth, that is just the thing. You understand? For now, I don't think anything is working. You get? The electoral system is fucked up and everything. Nothing is working in Nigeria. That's just my own understanding. Thank you very much.
2025, we are 65 years, right? It's a great privilege to be a Nigerian, the giant of Africa, happy and shout out to every Nigerian citizen, no matter what we are going through. We believe that it will be well again. Yes, whatever it is, we are still the greatest and giant country in the whole Africa. Happy independence, everyone. Happy independent Nigeria.
Dedication is doing your best, even when no one is watching. It is the quiet force behind every masterpiece and every breakthrough. With consistency and focus, you don't just chase excellence, you become it. Stay dedicated, the results will speak.
Enugu State is known for its rich culinary heritage, with various local government areas contributing their unique dishes and specialties. Some popular dishes across Enugu State include Okpa, a traditional Igbo dish made from Bambara groundnuts; Abacha, a popular Nigerian dish made from dried shredded cassava; Nkwobi, a spicy cow leg dish; Abobo or Fiofio, a porridge made from pigeon peas; Ofe Akwu, a traditional Nigerian soup made with palm fruits oil extract; Akpu, a traditional Nigerian food made from cassava tubers; Ogba, a traditional Nigerian food ingredient made from fermented oil bean seeds; Okwa, African breadfruit often used in traditional dishes; Oha soup, a traditional Nigerian soup made with oha leaves and cocoyam paste. And going over to the local government areas, we begin in an Inri local government area, which is known for the following cassava-based dishes: gari, fufu, and processed flakes; market-made snacks like the okpa, which is the Bambara nut cake; Akara-style bean fritters, and palm oil-based salads. Ogu local government is known for its hearty soups and stews, pepper soup variants and goats and Newton preparations, staples, yam and cassava. Enugu's local government area is known for their special delicacy Nkwobi, Isiewu, spicy cow leg, and street foods like pepper soup and grilled fish, and packaged traditional foods like dried abacha flakes and pre-packed okpa. And Enugu North is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, ogba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, ogba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago also has the abacha and cassava-derived dishes, distinctive abacha preparations using dried and shredded cassava. Igbo Etiti local government is known for mixed staples like yam, cassava, and legumes with pigeon pea. They also have bean dishes like abobo, fiofio, and bean-based preparations. Igbo Eze North has rural produce like bambara nuts and cassava, as well as street breakfast items like okpa and akara. While Igbo Eze South has festive soups and cassava accompaniments like hearty soups and cassava derives like gari and fufu. In Isuzo local government area, the local government is known for highland crops like yam, tuber crops, and dried tuber dishes like variants, which is similar to achicha and abobo. Nkanu East also has the abacha styles and variants with different preparations using fresh native beans, fried ingredients, and local sources of smoked fish. And Kano West has yam and vegetable combos like festival dishes, combining tuber staples with special meat and seafood dressings. And Seka is known for their okpa, achichan, and abacha. They are widely reported as common local specialties, and they have the delicacy made with corn known as ayarayoka. Oji River is known for cassava-derived snacks, abacha ingredients, okwa, smoked fish, and okpaka is known for trade hubs and market supply. Udenu is known for garden vegetables and accompaniments and dry tuber preparations like leafy green soups and dry tuber snacks. Udi local government is also known for cassava products and abacha, popular abacha preparations and cassava-based products with various soups. Uzuwani local government area is known for riverine and food networks, which are the okwa, tubers such as yam and cassava, and vegetable soups with their various ways of preparation, and also their festival cooking, which is a locally caught fish and smoked proteins.
October 1, 1960 marked the end of British colonial rule in Nigeria and the new era of a sovereign nation under a new constitution with a federal system of government. The long-awaited independence was the result of years of nationalist struggles, fights, and pain, championed by leaders such as Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and Alhaji Ahmadu Bello. For Nigerians at the time, independence symbolized total freedom from the shackles of colonialism, political continuity, and the promise of a better tomorrow. 65 years later, however, many still ask, how free is Nigeria really? Political independence may have been achieved in letters, but the chain of neocolonialism remained clearly evident. Economic dependence on foreign powers, reliance on imported goods, and dominance of multilateral corporations continue to weaken home industries. As one political analyst put it, Nigeria may have raised her own flag in 1960, but her economy is still tied to foreign strains. It was the 19th century German philosopher Karl Marx who posited, the quagmires of capitalism deepens inequality. While a wealthy few enjoy the nation's vast resources, millions face poverty, unemployment, inflation, and poor social services. A cross-section of Enugu residents spoke on the country's achievements and flaws since independence.
For 60-something years, I think Nigeria should have been beyond where it is now. Of course, a lot of successes here and there, but every Nigerian will agree with me that we should have gone beyond where we are now. And particularly in the areas of national cohesion, it's very unfortunate that having gone through all that we went through as a nation, we are still struggling with cohesion. People see themselves, not as Nigerians, but first and foremost from their primordial perspectives. Yes, it's good for us to recognize that if you're from the south, well, I'm from the south. If you're an Igbo man, you say I'm an Igbo man. If you're Yoruba, you say you are Igbo. If you're Efik, Hausa, Fulani, yes, it's normal to say so. But I think, those things shouldn't mask the fact that we are Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, when we go beyond the shores of this country, nobody wants to know whether you are Igbo, you are Efik, you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, Fulani, or you are Edo. They call you Nigerians.
Nigerians, a happy Independence Day celebration. So far, we have not done too well. And it's not because of the lack of God's gift to our country. We have had, and we still have, abundant mineral resources, more than many nations of the world, whether it is oil or gas or other minerals. including even gold. But instead of the oil bringing us good, it has brought us evil. It has become the only way to grow the economy. There is obviously no other way that this country is growing her economy. Every other thing that should be added to our GDP are largely unexploited.
Despite these demerits, Nigeria has made remarkable achievements. Over the years, the country has played a pertinent role in African liberation struggles, peacekeeping operations, and the restoration of democratic rule in troubled nations. Its cultural influence in music, film, and literature has also placed the country firmly on the global terrain. Still, the flaws cannot be ignored. Corruption, nepotism, weak institutions, ethnic rivalries, and insecurity continue to hold the country back, confirmed by some residents.
Our level of impactfulness and our level of development and what have you, yeah, encouraging, I must be honest. And someone would, probably argue with me and say, why should I say so? And if you say, why should I say so, I will tell you why I say so. Why I say so is that Nigeria, we are still at the 60 plus, independence, 60 plus. So when you have a ratio to what has, the far American and other part of the global have been, I will tell you that America, had about 200 and something years in independence, likewise the Great Britain and what have you. So Nigeria at the 60 plus, I think we are not doing so bad.
Youths are largely jobless, which is the reason why there's so much insecurity, because, they are easy hands to hire. When the man is hungry, you promise him anything, he will join you.
The respondents called for leaders who will show true patriotism by reducing the cost of living, equitable distribution of scarce resources, reviving the economy, creating jobs for the teeming youth, and ensuring justice system for all. Happy Independence Day. Chidimmi Kemede, Aneke TV.
Shining light into your day, I'm Deborah Wakoba, coming to you live from our studio here in the vibrant heart of Enugu.
Good morning, and I hope you enjoyed your Independence Day celebration. I am Uche Osai. Wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in traffic, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful Thursday morning. As always, we're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and it's Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. So welcome to another day, another refreshing edition of Sunrise. And this morning, we've got everything you need from the latest news, detailed weather updates, trending stories, and our newspaper review, all wrapped up in that unique Sunrise touch to guide you smoothly into the day.
So, grab your cup of coffee or tea, relax, set sail with us, because the sunrise is here.
Yes, and here on Sunrise this morning, we'll be kicking things off with our quote of the day. A spark of wisdom to inspire us, lift our spirits, fuel our creativity, and keep us well-driven as we take on the day.
And right after that, we'll bring you today's stories, newspaper headlines, major news breaks from across the world to keep you informed. We will serve this very hot and tasty.
Yes, and of course, don't forget, we've also got today's weather report for cities across the southeast. Just what you need to be ready, comfortable before heading out, or if you've head out, is to keep you through the rest of the day.
And later, we'll take you through today's celebrations or observance to lift your spirit.
Now, so today we'll be taking our quote of the day. And our quote of the day is coming from Mahatma Gandhi. And in his quote, he says, non-violence is not merely a negative state of harmlessness, but a positive state of love, of doing good even to the evildoer. I repeat that again. He says, non-violence is not merely a negative state of harmlessness, but a positive state of love, of doing good even to the evildoer. Gandhi is saying that non-violence is not just about avoiding harm or staying passive. It is not simply the absence of violence, anger, or hatred. Instead, it is an active force of love, compassion, and kindness. To Gandhi, true non-violence means going beyond, not hurting others, and it involves showing goodwill even to those who wronged us. So refusing to respond with hatred and instead seeking to transform them through love and understanding. So this quote reflects Gandhi's philosophy that love has the power to disarm hostility and bring about genuine change, whereas hatred and revenge only continue the cycle of violence. And in simple terms, what Gandhi is trying to teach us is that non-violence is not weakness or silence, it is active goodness, even towards those who do wrong.
All right. I suppose this quote today is in celebration of today's World Non-Violence Day celebration, and Mahatma Gandhi, all through his life, is known to preach non-violence. And from our quotes and the explanations you've given, we would understand that non-violence is not lacking that capacity or the ability to retaliate with more violence, with more energy, more anger. Rather, is the ability to conquer these devices, these negative vices, and be able to stand above the evil of anger, above the evil of hate. And for Mahatma Gandhi, throughout his life and what he has preached here, is telling us that non-violence is not merely a negative state of harmlessness. You are not incapable. You are very much capable of meeting violence with violence, or even with a greater act of violence. But you chose non-confrontational approach. You chose to conquer your enemy, your tormentor, with that self-awareness of love. You are able to stand on the path of love to conquer hatred. This is the greatest act of self-discipline. And this is what Mahatma Gandhi is known for throughout his life, being that in his quest in leaving India out from their through self-rule, on the march or quest for independence for India, he chose not to confront their dominated rulers, the British and so forth and so on. Rather, he chose to walk the way of peace. For him, that peace, love can conquer any situation, unlike what we had in other nations where there were resistance to colonial rule. Rather, he preached and practiced. Even there are instances, videos where you see them being beaten with baton. They chose to stay, endure the pain, in order to win over their tormentors with non-engagement, non-retaliation. Bear the pain, love the enemy more than you've loved any other creation of God. You see yourself in that person, and you know that whatever negativity that is mentored on you is not in itself a result, but that a greater good could be achieved by countering that act of negativism, that hatred, with love. And this is what Mahatma Gandhi has done and influenced a lot of persons in history as well. Talk about Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King Jr. This was who influenced Martin Luther's action and preaching of non-violence, using non-violence even in America for the blacks to re-establish themselves as human beings, be able to desegregate America. And in Africa, you will see Nelson Mandela being a student of Mahatma Gandhi as well, preaching non-violence, right? So, for everyone and our audience, we should try as much as possible to use love to conquer hate, irrespective of circumstances, situations that you're facing. You know, it could be very, very, very demanding that you're being oppressed, perhaps at home, perhaps in your business or in the office, and you chose to love your tormentor. You know, it's one of the greatest acts of self-sacrifice that one can embark on. When abused verbally, he chose non-confrontational. But we are told today that this is the way to go.
It's just like saying do not pay evil for evil.
Yes.
So whatever we do, like, don't retaliate with violence.
You remember the laws of Moses?
Yeah.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah,
when you slap me in one cheek, instead of turning the other one,
well,
I slap you times 8. You understand?
There's this saying that came into my mind, an eye for an eye ends up making the world blind.
Everybody goes blind, yes. So
because if you try retaliating, everything escalates. Now, violence, paying violence with violence, actually, that's when
at the end of the day, at the end of the day, anybody around you see will be one, maybe either one blinded, or
and
they have only one eye. And then think of the
Exactly,
situation in the world today. Look at what is happening in Ukraine, Russia-Ukraine, right? Because somebody has not been able to master this act of non-confrontational, not meeting violence with violence, not applying or living for peace. And then for years now, Russia, Ukraine is in turmoil. Ukraine doesn't have a normal life again. Most of their, over 5 million of their citizens have moved to Poland because of the violence that is raging there. Then move over to Israel and Gaza. You see what is happening there. And because of what? Violence. Because of violence, somebody is not able to live up to this
You're trying
demands.
to show who is in power.
Yes, it's meeting confrontation with confrontation.
Yes, when it means facing violence with violence, you're trying to show who is boss.
The world will be a
power,
better place if we come to the path of peace and not to meet confrontation with more violence and all that. And that's why we don't have peace in the world. Peace is eluding us. And a lot of fights. There are a whole lot of issues. We did talk about it the other day. There are a whole lot of issues that would be, settled when you refuse to engage.
Yes.
We talked about where somebody is shouting on you. The other day we were talking about peace. We were talking about peace in celebration of World Day of Peace.
Yes, yes,
you understand? Where we mentioned a lot of ways to, de-escalate.
To
we talk about even walking away,
like
avoiding conflict and all that. Imagine the world would have been a better place if we all toe this line.
Yes, that's true. Well, thank you very much for that. And please do not forget that every sunrise is a place, an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to try something exciting, learn something different, or simply enjoy the moment. We'll go on a short break, and up next will be the weather report.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
You're still watching Aneke TV. Stay tuned as we take a look at today's weather across major cities in the southeast.
Yeah, good morning, Oka. It's a cloudy start, about 21 degrees Celsius. Expect morning rain, then clouds through midday. Rain may return in the afternoon. Temperatures will climb to around 26 to 27 degrees Celsius before cooling into the evening.
Hello, Enugu. The skies are cloudy this morning with showers late early morning and heavier rain mid-morning to early noon. Afternoon should see periods of cloud cover with possible showers again in the early evening. Highs near 28 to 29 degrees Celsius.
And good day at Abakaliki. Starting off cloudy, turning to showers later in the morning. With rain tapering midday, skies partially clear in the afternoon before clouds return later. Highs may reach about 27 to 29 degrees Celsius.
And over to the jiving city of Owerri. Morning is cloudy with a cooler start around 22 degrees Celsius. Rain is expected from 10 a.m. through early afternoon. Then intermittent clouds later in the day. The highs will hover near 27 to 28 degrees Celsius.
And over to Umuahia. The dawn begins with clouds around 22 degrees Celsius. Expect rain around 10 a.m. through afternoon. punctuated by cloudy intervals. The temperatures may climb to 28 to 29 degrees Celsius before tapering off in the evening.
Alright, so wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, be comfortable. Remember, rain or shine, we've got you covered, but keep your umbrellas handy. This is your weather report across major cities in the southeast. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Bebra Wakoba. I am Chidimi Kemede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obo Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Well, today we're taking a look at the celebration. And today's celebration is the International Day of Non-Violence. And it is observed every year on October 2nd. And this date was chosen to honor the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, who was born 1869 to 1948. And is recognized globally as the leader of India's non-violent independence movement and the pioneer of the philosophy of Ahimsa, which is non-violence. The United Nations officially established this day in 2007 through a resolution that highlights Gandhi's legacy and the importance of non-violence in achieving peace, justice, and freedom. And the aim of this day is to promote the philosophy of non-violence, which is encouraging individuals and nations to resolve conflict peacefully. Another aim of this day is to raise awareness of Gandhi's teachings about truth, tolerance, forgiveness, and peaceful resistance, like we saw in his quote earlier today. And another aim is to encourage global peace building through dialogue, compassion, and cooperation instead of aggression. And also to highlight love and active goodness as powerful alternatives to hatred, revenge, and violence. So this day reminds the world that peaceful means can create lasting change. And the International Day of Non-Violence is not only about remembering Gandhi, but also about reminding the world that peaceful resistance, compassion, and love are powerful tools to end justice and build a better society. So, like we said earlier in our quotes today about not paying violence with violence. So please let us know what you're celebrating. Tag us at Aneke TV across Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube, or call our phone number 070-3043-7110. We'll go on a short break and it's a bit newspaper review. You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. So let's see what's making front page news today in the Nation Punch, Vanguard, and the Guardian newspaper. Now on the Nation headlines, we have Governors renew pledge to speed up development in states. And in the Punch headline, we have Bengerson strike and NPC laments losses as unions hold actions. Now on the Vanguard headline, we have 2027 Amechi Obi Utomi Ezekwesili push to end courtroom democracy. And in the Guardian headline, we have leaders call for reforms on poverty, insecurity, fostering democracy. Now today we'll be starting our first paper with the Nation headline that says governors renew pledge to speed up development in states. So governors across Nigeria have reaffirmed their commitment to boost performance and accelerate development at the subnational level. They made this pledge during the 65th Independence Day celebrations in response to President Tinubu's call to wet the grass further, meaning to take governance closer to the people. Mr. Osha, I would like to know your take on this.
All right. The Nation is very explicit with that headline that in the governors, right?
Yeah.
Calling or pledging to make
to speed up development
in states. As a result of the October 1st celebration, and one may begin to ask, would it or does it take for us to know and pledge to do better in office with the celebration of independence? I think the governors, though expectedly on a day like that, should be a day of sober reflection for our leaders, for them to be able to retrospectively think and give solace to their actions. There are questions this occasion calls for. Have I been able to live up to my mandate? Have I lived up to my manifesto? Have I been fair to the people that elected me into this very office? How have I discharged my mandate? In this mood of sober reflections, retracing our steps as a nation, where we've been, where we are, and where we ought to be. These leaders realizing that at this point in our nation's history, that leadership is thrust upon them to pilot and steer this nation to greatness, would have to, retrospectively, like I said, ask themselves certain questions. Have I done better than the leaders of the past? My vision, my actions in office, is it in line with the founding fathers' vision for Nigeria? Now, getting into the subnationals, the governors now coming out to say or pledge to the citizens to raise their performance and to heed to the president's advice and call to wet, in the word of the president, wet the grass further. Wet the grass further. Now, one thing comes to mind. When I begin to make pledge to do better, it means one thing, and for that I celebrate the governors. They've realized that they've not done enough. Yes. People may want to argue that that speech was coming from a place of realizing, yes, we are doing more, but we will go higher. But I want to interpret it to mean that, yes, we are trying, we've not done well by you, but we are pledging to do better. Now, what does that give you? Why I celebrate them is the realization that you've not done enough for the masses that put you into office. And it takes a celebration like this for you to know that the grasses are dry and needs to be wetted further. Is an indictment on their part. And when I go through the speeches that were read out on the 1st of October, I do not see tangibles. I was not expecting, yes, though celebrations would happen at the subnationals, having cancelled the parade nationally, and then it happened at the subnational level. Yes, I expected to hear and see speeches. But what I was expecting is to see tangibles. Tell me what you've done for me. Tell me what you've done for us. So we're expecting the governors to come out and say, I met this economy at so and so percent. Look at the drivables, look at the tangibles. This is where we are at the moment. Now, it took October 1st for them to realize that they will accede to the call of Mr. President to wet the grass further. An indictment on itself to know that the people are suffering. The grass is dry because it's only in a dry land that you have to wet it. In the case of Israel, that is in the desert, had to create a technology for them to be able to farm in season and out of season. Technology that creates rainfall in order to wet the grass. So the governors telling us that they will accede to the president call for them to wet the grass further, means that yes, the place has been dry, despite the homogeneous amount that this administration is sharing amongst themselves. What is the impact on the people? Go across the states. Has this homogeneous amount, let me bring it home, as at 2007, even 2023, 2007 is far, 2023, this nation, the subnationals with the federal government shares about 700 billion. And by this year, in 2025, in fact, as at last month, August, right? As at August, we were told that they were sharing 2.2 trillion amongst the federal government and subnational, meaning that there is more funds available. And when there is more funds available, let me ask you a direct question. When you're earning triples, what happens? There's an improvement in your living, in your way of life. You begin to either upgrade your perfumes, you begin to upgrade, maybe change to a better cream, begin to change your wardrobe. Perhaps you may have to relocate from where you live, from your estate to a different estate. You may begin to think of living a rented apartment to your own apartment because your earning has improved. Now the question is, if as of 2003 we were sharing 700 billion and compare to 2025 we are sharing 2.2 trillion, the question now is, has that impacted on the people's life? Has it? These are the questions for the governors to answer themselves. So let's do away with rhetorics. Let's be practical with governance. These roads in your state, are they motorable? How many of the states, when you go around the federation, have motorable roads? Is there a connection between the rural dwellers and city dwellers in your state? What is health care like in your state? What is security? How do we assess your impact as regards security? A number of times we want to blame the federal government when it comes to security. But what have you done? We've seen governors, we've seen some states getting vehicles, up to 400 vehicles, to assist the joint task force to improve security. We've seen, for example, in the case in Enugu State, where there is a command and control center domiciled in the government house, where the government is able to assess what happens in the state security-wise. When you go through the state, you will see a vehicle marked DSR positioned in places, making sure that there is security. These are commendable efforts. But can we say same of all the states in the federation? So, yes, October 1st is a day for us to reflect and equally make promises. But my happiness in this is that the governors and the subnationals are no longer holding the federal accountable, which was the case in years back. As of 2003, going backwards, you will see subnationals blaming the federal a number of issues. But I'm happy that at this point in time, the subnationals are giving kudos to the federal government. They've made more funds available. Then what's holding you back? So I'm happy that they are pledging to do better. Yes, and they should do better. They have no choice because they campaigned for these very positions. I understand and I know that nobody was pleaded with. Nobody. There's no office holder, no governor anywhere, no senator anywhere, for example, no local government chairman or a councillor that you see people go to their house with kegs of palm wine to go and plead with them. If you do not govern us, we will be eroded with starvation or poverty or anything. No. They deliberately stood up, went and purchased the form from their political party, stood for primaries, went into the election, and were elected for. So, they sought for the office, and they should discharge every expectations of that office diligently. It should not be an issue of rhetorics. It should be seen to have been implemented. The basics is to at least implement your own manifesto for the people. So at the end of the day, the onus is on the citizens to be able to assess their governors. Have they done well? Have they lived up to their manifesto? And indeed, if done that, then kudos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. Now we're moving over to our second paper coming from the Punch headline that says Pengassan strike and NPC lament losses as union holds actions. This refers to the industrial action by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengassan, over the dismissal of over 800 workers by Dangote Refinery, many of whom were unionized. So the National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has expressed regret over losses incurred due to the union's halt of production or supply chains. I would like to know your take on this issue on behalf concerning NNPC.
Debbie, what more can we talk about this? We've exhausted this issue over time, but if we have to do justice to this issue, let's be happy and celebrate that the strike action has been suspended.
Yes, it has been suspended.
I think that's what we should be celebrating. Talking about NNPC lamenting about losses and all that, as a result of that, yes, that's what we've been saying. We've exhausted this on this studio. We've talked about the losses, the gains, and all that. But are there really true gains from this? The only gains for me from here is, at the end of the day, if all parties will respect the agreement that they've entered into through the intervention of the federal government. Let's not see that Dangote has reneged from this very agreement.
Yeah.
Let's not tomorrow we'll see Pengassan or Nupeng calling for another strike action, because we are told
keeping to the
agreement.
Yeah.
So we would expect the only gain I will see here is that let the right of workers to be respected, right? If the actual thing, because remember, I did say there could be underlying factors that are driving these issues, right? Being that Dangote is a private enterprise, we've seen Nupeng with Dangote, we've seen Pengassan with Dangote. Tomorrow, who else are we going to see? Perhaps National Union of Road Transport Workers. What else are we going to witness tomorrow? So that's why I call and say that the celebration here is that the strike is suspended. Because according to their chairman or the president of Pengassan, what they've done is what? Suspend the strike. That they've not called it off. That is a suspension. And according to him, that this suspension is them, Pengassan, taking a high moral ground in respect to federal institution, respect for constituted authority, and respect for government efforts to see that this issue is resolved. That not because they have confidence, no, that they are suspending the strike is not a show of confidence on Dangote Refinery to keep to agreement, but they've chosen to tow a high moral ground, see to it, wait, it's like what you say, sit down, they look. Yes, they've taken a sit down, they look approach, hoping that Dangote would surprise them this time around by keeping to the tenets of this agreement, which they are saying they are not very sure he would. But if he does, and that's what we call for this morning, that they respect the tenets of whatever agreement that has been entered into. But in as much I say that, let it not be that there are underlying issues that we are not being told. Let it not be that some people are politicking, wanting to stop Dangote from achieving the aim of making profit from his investments, or that they are seeing it that Dangote has come in and is taking the jobs away from their hands, and then they are beginning to fight back. We hope that this is not it. We hope that these whole actions are for the good of the common man, for the good of Nigerian workers who have unionized, and that the union is trying in sincerity to protect their interest. Because going forward, you discover that a lot of persons have accused Pengassan that their interest is here is what they call check-off dues, that will come from these workers who have joined the union. Though Pengassan, in fairness to them, have come out to counter that, to say that what are they going to drive from the check-off dues from these 800 workers, as to compare what their members in ExxonMobil and other multinational oil companies are making, that what they will get from them is nothing to write home about. Which is why I say I hope that this is all in national interest for the good of the common Nigerian worker. Yeah, we're talking about losses this time around. Definitely, you and I know that there will be losses.
Yes,
a lot of losses. I wouldn't even want to look at it from the angle the NNPC chairman, CEO, is coming from Ojulari. From the figures he read out, I want to see the losses from bottom up.
Okay.
What has nobody has come out to tell us what the common man on the streets has lost.
Yeah.
A lot of
those
persons,
workers, yeah.
Yes, this 3-day action has cost some people their meal. Exactly. There are people who missed a meal because of this action.
That's true.
There are transporters who rely on their daily income to meet a certain target, who have either took their vehicle, their tricycle on hire purchase, and had to remit daily. And then whatever surplus they get, they used to feed their family. And we know that some of them may not be able to access petrol to function. So some people have lost their meal for the day. There are hospitals, institutions that did not get power supply. As a result, some persons may have suffered more.